Scorpio, how are you? It's me, Anissa from theinnerstereo, and I'm back again doing your October 2018 readings. So this reading is going to be from the 5th of October until the 15th of October 2018. And as usual, you can always apply this with anywho. It could be with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, exes, crushes, colleagues, co-workers, friends, anyone. I'm basically just going to pick up your relationship energy in general, all right? So how are you guys doing right now, Scorpio? Please check your sun, moon, or Venus sign as well, because I tend to realize that with my readings, I resonate much more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign, okay? So as your over energy for the now, you have the Devil card in reverse, and you also have the Queen of Chalices, which is like the Queen of Cups. I feel like you guys are kind of like, it can kind of like meant two things. Like in a relationship sense, you could actually be kind of like detaching yourself away from toxic situations, an unhealthy type of kind of like behavior of your relationship. You could be kind of like discarding your bond of someone who is very, very toxic towards you. And the beautiful thing about it is that attached to it, you have the Queen of Cups. It talks about like a lot of emotional availability, a lot of emotional vulnerability that you can actually feel. The Queen of Cups in this particular deck of mine have like a lot of Neptunian qualities in them, meaning that you, Scorpio, when they're in love. I love this energy. What happened with my autofocus? I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, a water sign when they're in love. So pure, so genuine, so selfless. Always have the willingness to give. Give, give, give. And you also have the Five of Wands in here. I feel like, there could mean one thing. You can be kind of like detaching yourself from someone who you felt kind of like unhealthy towards you. And you're kind of like having like this battle of ego between the both. And then, at the same time, you're kind of like having like an affection or a love towards someone else. Or you're kind of like completely kicking one person out and you're having your heart chakra open towards someone new. Or it could actually mean that you want something to change in your relationship sector. If it was like a relationship that involved like a lot of kind of like sex, or it was like a relationship that was just sex only, you don't want to do that any longer because they kind of like caught you in the feels. And you got me like, oh. What's funny is that what's challenging is the Death card. So like a shedding of the old skin that still hasn't happened yet. And you also have the Ten of Cups. So you actually kind of like felt like this relationship, there is no collective happiness in this relationship. You guys have had like this epiphany or realization about what is going wrong within this relationship, all right? And I feel like it's very, very difficult for you to kind of like get your point across towards them. There's like an unhealthy habit going on with your relationship. Scorpio, di ba ko trying to get close to you. Burn, baby, burn. When you guys are very, very open, when you guys were there to kind of like offer them something that is very, very stable, funnily enough, this person actually kind of like shy away from it because they're still having like this bitter memories of the past or the bad memories of the past that they're still very, very much holding on to. This could actually talks about them still kind of like unable to walk away from their past relationship as well. Okay, so what they did is they actually kind of like do this, the Knight of Wands. So they kind of like put like puppets out there to kind of like scare the crowds. They were being kind of like a little bit pretentious in some ways in here, Scorpio. And it's unfair because you guys were there. I mean, you guys were being very, very reliable. You guys were being very, very trustworthy with the Queen of Pentacles attitude. Oh my God, I really hate this. This is so unfair. Because you have the Queen of Cups, like a typical Scorpio, a typical water sign when you guys are in love. Everything so selfless. You have the Queen of Pentacles. You were so ready, giving them. What's the Six of Cups in reverse in here for? Kind of like makes me feel sad a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever this is that you want to stop in this relationship, it could be like a friends with benefit that you actually want to kind of like progress into becoming a relationship, or it was like an unhealthy habits of this relationship that's just driving you nuts, and you want to kind of like stay clear away from it because you want to focus on the lovey-dovey aspect of the relationship, this person has the difficulties of letting that go. You know what I mean? This person has the difficulties of letting that go, and one of the reasons why this person has the difficulties of letting that go is, one, is either they haven't let go completely of their past person, or two, like that past person kind of like fucked them over, so that they now are in this toxic and an unhealthy bond that they have. A really, really bad habit that you feel like you kind of like want to change them in some ways, and you were so willing to give your all to kind of like make them change. Oh my god, this is so nice. I mean, you are so nice in the past. Terima kasih masa sekarang. And there's like a card of acceptance in there too. So meaning that you kind of like were accepting them as who they truly are in the past. And all they did was kind of like doing this to you. Like they kind of like push you. You might be dealing with someone who has like a really, really immense, huge wall. I'm starting to sound like Donald Trump. Sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, but this person has like a huge wall. In order for you to kind of like break into that wall, so you need to kind of like be like a little bit patient. Okay, I feel like you guys are walking at a different pace. Okay, this person has the 8 of Wands in reverse in here and the 2 of Swords. So now they kind of like, they were kind of like wishy-washy about you in the past. I feel like, and then now they're kind of like wanting to open up their heart chakra, but they're not being very communicative in the now. Usually I have problems when it comes to communicating with Scorpios, but I feel like you're dealing with someone who has difficulties in communicating. Kind of like I'm not going to say that they're handicapped in some ways, but they have a handicap when it comes to talking about their emotions, when it comes to becoming open and vulnerable, and to really discuss the heart of the matter, why they're actually behaving in a certain ways. You know what I mean? Because they know why they're like that, why they're messed up, but for them to actually confront it and talking to you is still difficult for them. You're dealing with someone who is very stubborn to change, Very stubborn to change. It's very hard for them to change. But this type of person, yeah, it kind of like reminds me of my dad, who wants to kind of like change me in some ways. And I feel like the only way for this person to change is when they kind of like trip, they fell, and they learn their lessons by their own. I mean, you can't be the person who kind of like tell them what to do, or kind of like accommodate them to do something that they don't want to do. The change has to come from themselves. You love them so much. I mean, you have had like a really big trust issues in the past, but I feel like you're kind of like getting out of the spirit. You're being so understanding. Wow. You were being so understanding. Very accepting. Wow. Because you actually believe in this connection. You really do believe in this connection. Kind of like felt like you manifest them into your life as well. Finally, though, in the future, they're willing to kind of like collaborate together with you. Yes. Yep, you're going to get your wish fulfillment by the end of October 2018, though. Or even so before that. Probably during the mid-October, you're going to get your wish fulfillment, because this person finally then would want to kind of like collaborate together with you, would want to say okay to your idea of change in here. Okay. It's slow. It's a slow process, but at least they're getting there. Beautiful. Wow, this has got to be the best Scorpio reading I've ever done in my whole entire life. Have the Hermit card in here. This has got to be, yep. So you're gonna get like a lot of your wish fulfillment in the future, which is like the mid-October, like 15th of October, before 15th of October. This person would want to kind of like collaborate together with you, would want to kind of like either reconcile or want to walk these through. Basically, they want to do it together with you. So it's no longer you putting out the work, you trying to understand them, you being so accepting over them. No, I feel like your patience kind of like paid off in some ways in here, because they would want to. And although it's like, this is going to be like they never did this before. You know, they never did this before. They never would want to kind of like put in the effort, put in the work into a relationship so that both of you could have like a future together. They never did this before. So this is something new. This is something special. You're going to get your wish fulfillment. Money-wise, I feel like you guys are also going to do very, very great. In the month of October, I feel like you guys, both of you guys are going to kind of like work together for this relationship, hardworkingly. Yep, very good. But you're going to be the one who's calling the shot though, Scorpio. So yeah, you need to know this. You're going to be the one who's calling the shot. You need to be the one who's kind of like planning everything, because this is something foreign and something new for them, regardless of their age. But this is something new for them, to be willing to change, to be willing to be doing something towards for other person is something that is new. It's either something that is new or it's something that they had forgotten to do in a very, very long time. And you guys are there for them to kind of like change in some way. So it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, you have the Hermit card in here. I feel like they've been kind of like learning a lot about self-improvement. They've been kind of like having like a lot of epiphanies, especially in the Virgo season last month, where they kind of like realized how gentle you guys are, how accepting you guys are. And the love, the selfless love that you actually gave them is actually very, very good for them. Okay? So it's doing great. Congratulations, Scorpio. All right, so I think that's it for my reading for you guys for October. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.